welcome to a special lecture series on scientific writing for number 3rd. I'm Dr. Pervez Ahmad. In this particular lectures, we will have a discussions on how to prepare readers for understanding the work. So let's start today's lectures. Uh, Beginning to prepare reader for understanding the work. This is the first topic of this particular lectures. So normally, whenever you look at it, scientific documents or in the scientific papers, so the first of all, you have the title. Now the title orient readers to the documents. I mean, therefore we must say that the title should be informative so that it can easily orient readers to the rest of the documents. So once the readers they study the title, so then they proceed toward the summary, and it's the summary that tells the readers what happened in the documents. So then it's come the introduction sections, which prepare the readers for the middle of the documents. I mean, it contains the informations they try to prepare the audience for to look inside the rest of the document. So a strong title orient readers to your area of the work. And here we have an example of a strong title. That is, look at this particular titles. We have one, the effect of humanity on the growth of avalanche. So if we compare this with the another title, this is the epic of humanity on the growth of electron avalanches and electrical gas discharges. So if you compare these two, so you will find it very easily that this one is more informative as compared to this one, because here we have the information uh, missing in this particular title. So this one is more informative as compared to this one. So it will help the audience to focus on or to proceed inside the document, because here you can see that we have the epic of humanity on the growth, so it's here. But then we say that something about the avalanches, about the information about the avalanches before and after the information they're missing in this particular title. But if you look at this title, so here we say that we have the information about the avalanches, that is the free and the forced information, that is growth of electron avalanches, that is the avalanche is a length, free length with the electron, and force length and the electrical gas discharge. But here in this particular title we neither have free or forced information about the avalanches. So this kind of important should be chosen while you're writing to give a title to your scientific documents. So a strong title also separates your work from everyone's else work. And here again we have an example. Sometimes the people they choose an ordinary topic, I mean, which makes their work with other people work. I mean, the people are unable to find easily their work because of their journal titles. I mean, they choose such a journal title which almost every second person has that particular title. Therefore, it's difficult for the researcher to find their work or to focus on their work. An example of such a titles is like this. Studies on the electrodeposition of lead and copper. This is two journal title. I mean, there might be a lot of people who could work on the electrodeposition of lead and the copper. So in order to separate this or to find this on the Google or other databases, it might be difficult for a particular researcher to search for. In comparison to this ones, if someone have a title, someone have modified title like this, effect of rhodamine B and the electrodeposition of lead and copper. So it's more effective and more informative, and it will help or it will separate your documents from a lot of a bunch of articles that is being present on the Google or other research databases. So this is why we're saying that strong titles, I mean, it's important because it separates your work from everyone else's work. And here is the good example, the good comparison of the two documents, because you can find a lot of documents on this journal titles. But if you specify your titles, so this specific topic or specific title will separate your works from the work of many people who are working in the same field. So then we come toward the summary. The summary, I mean, so there exists different names from the summary. Some people call it summary, some call it technical abstract. The other call informative abstract. Some people just call it abstract or descriptive abstract or executive summary. I mean, these are the different name for the abstract or summary. It's up to you, whatever suits you, or whatever the requirement of the journal. So according to that, you should organize your summary or abstracts. So just like we mentioned, there are several names that exist for the summaries. So there are essential two approaches. I mean, whenever you're trying to write a summary or you want to write an abstract, so there are two important things. I mean, are two important type of the summary or the abstract. I mean, the first is the first type of the summary or the abstract is I mean, it's descriptive. I mean, it's given only the descriptions of your work. I mean, so just like we can have this we have particular work and we just want to describe that work in journal. So we have this description, that is, this paper describe a new inertial navigation system for mapping oil and gas wells. In this paper we will compare the mapping accuracy and speed for this new system against the accuracy and speed for conventional system. So this is a kind of the descriptive abstract or descriptive summary. So unlike that, you should have informative summary or informative abstract. I mean, if you want to give an informative or informative summary or informative abstract, so you should modify your abstract like this. This paper describes a new inertial navigation system that will increase the mapping accuracy of the oil wells by a factor of 10. So here you can see that even in the first lines we have provided information. Here you can see that it's only a descriptions. We have provided here only a descriptions about the gas wells. But here you can see that we have provided the information as well. That is the mapping accuracy of oil wells by a factor of 10. I mean, the mapping accuracy will increase by a factor of 10. And again, we have further given informations, that is, the new system uses 3-axis navigations that protect sensors from high spin rates. The system also processes its informations by Kalman filtering, that is a statistical sampling technique, and an on-site computers. Test result shows the three-dimensional location accuracy and is within 0.1 meter for every 100 meters of well depth, and accuracy 10 times greater than the conventional system. So now you can have a comparison about the abstract or about the summary. I mean, this kind of summary is normally is called a descriptive one, and this is called an informative one. So normally when it's come to the scientific documents, so the informative summary and the informative abstract is very important, because I mean, when the audience or when the readers read an informative summary or informative abstract, so I mean, it increase the interest in their mind for studying the rest of the document, because they can get the, sometimes the audience when they have the audience normally have intention for getting the informations, and the description is normally not helpful to focus the reader for the rest of the document. So this is why it's very important that whenever you try to write a scientific document, so your abstract or the executive summary should be informative, so that it should attract the audience. uh, and just like we mentioned, a document's introduction prepare readers for for the discussions. And just like you can see it here in this particular sections, that is, you have the introductions, and that introductions basically carries the rest of the documents. I mean, here you tells the importance of all the sections of the paper. You mention about the importance of what you want to do or what you have done. You tell about the importance, you tell about the backgrounds, and you discuss about the arrangement of the data, and then you go toward the conclusion. So be remembered, it's the introductions and your document that carries the rest of the document. So be sure that you have a good introductions. Without a good introductions, I think it's almost impossible that you have a good written scientific paper or a good written scientific documents. So the introduction defines the scope and limitations of the work. For examples, you propose a study on the effect of alcohol on life expectancy. So you just specified three class of the drinker, that is non-drinkers, moderate drinkers, and heavy drinkers, and you have a 10 year of study, and that is based on the number of men survived. So here you can see that this is your classified study, but here you miss something, that is, uh, you're not mentioned that women may not experience the same effect. Some of the effect you have excluded from the study. I mean, you should have included medical histories, which is not considered here in this particular study. Other effects such as exercise is also not considered, and you just only focus on the limitation. So the introduction defines the scope and limitation of the work. So you should also be careful about this particular sections. So it's a strong introduction tell readers why the research is important. So therefore, just like we mentioned a particular topic, so whenever you trying to put an introductions, so this introduction should be informative, just like the one we can have it here as an example. As an example of the good introduction, that is, this paper present a design for platinum catalytic igniter and hydrogen air mixture. This igniter has uh, application in nuclear reactions. One danger at a nuclear reactor is a loss of coolant accident, such an accident can produce large quantity of hydrogen gas when hot water and steam react with zirconium fuel rod. And in serious accidents, the evolution of the hydrogen may be so rapid that it produces an explosive hydrogen air mixtures in the reactor containment building. This mixture could be breach the containment wall and allow radiation to escape. Our methods to eliminate this danger is intentionally ignite hydrogen air mixture at concentrations below those for which any serious danger might result. So after the introductions, you reach into the middle of the report. You present your work. So be ready, because it's the portions where you present your actual result, or where we can say that you could present your actual data. So for that, it will be good if you choose a logical strategy. Just like you can see here, we have a building, maybe something like it's a sandula plan. So here you can see that it's how the metal of the building is different from the surrounding. So just like that, we're saying that you should focus also in the middle of a report, because it's the place where you present your actual data, or where you present your actual work. So for that, in order to be effective, in order to be more informative, so you have to make section and subsections. You should provide informations and sections uh, and subsection, and for that you should have heading and subheading. You should provide the description. You should separate the descriptive. You should differentiate the description and information, and for that you should have heading and subheading. In heading you should provide a descriptions or descriptive information. In a subheading, you should provide the exact information and the discussion about your finding. So section heading should be descriptive and parallel. So here you can see that we have an example of non-parallel and non-descriptive versus parallel and descriptive data. That is, if uh, This is the two examples: non-parallel, non-descriptive, and parallel and descriptive data. And we say that section heading should be descriptive and parallel. So the question is, and the people may ask, whenever we say that the section heading should be descriptive and parallel, so the people may ask that how it should be. So here is an example in comparison of non-parallel and non-descriptive versus parallel and descriptive. Here you can see that non-parallel and non-descriptive, you have introduction, background, mass generators, line faults, beam generator, transportation beam, pellets, results, conclusions. But when you come to parallel descriptive, in comparison to the non-parallel descriptive, so here you can see that at first we have introductions. So after the introductions, you see that if you compare it here with the non-parallel and non-descriptive, here we have background. But here, parallel descriptive, we have mentioned fast design for particle beam fusions. Here we are more specific to the topic. And then new design for the particle beam fusions, charging matrix generators, forming line falls, generating particle beam, transporting particle beam, radiation, deuterium, tritium payloads. We are providing the information. We are not just giving or generalizing the data. And then we have results of new designs. Here we have just journal information or journal descriptions. And then we have conclusions and recommendation. So this is a good example, a parallel and descriptive type of the heading. So you should differentiate between these two. So then a question that when you divide a section into subsections, all the theses should be of the same 5, because new design for the particle beam fusions, charging mass generators, generator particle beam, and fillets. So that's why we should have it like this. You should divide it into equal sections. Organizations, be remembered that organization is heading when heading occur in a long list without secondary heading. And again, it's here we have the comparison between the two. That is, we have performance of the solar one receiver, and here the performance of the solar one receiver. Both of them is of the heading type, but here you can see uh, there is one type of the heading and this is another type of heading. So here you can see that the exact difference you can analyze for yourself, that how this heading is different from this particular heading. So this is why we're saying that organization is heading when heading occur in a long list without secondary heading. Here we are describing the importance of the secondary heading, that why secondary heading is important. So that's all we have for this lecture. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next part of the lecture series, which we will discuss uh, how many articles, how many journal articles follow a set of organization name Emerald. That this will be the focus of the next lecture in this particular series. So stay tuned. Till then, bye bye.